think he's gonna get me a game. I like to just, you know, get the mats quick and just rush him before he can get what he likes, and yeah, I'm gonna just keep putting the pressure on him.
I mean, and the final question I want to ask you guys are playing on controller, and you guys are showing up everyone. Do you guys have any tips, any words you'd like to say?
No, man, I'm super happy to be here. I feel that it's a very unique and cool thing that him and I get to compete against PC guys and stuff and kind of put on for an entire community that I know I care a lot about. I'm sure you do as well. And you know, we're both doing very well today, especially you. Just keep on carrying the torch, and thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, it's an honor to be here as well. You know, we're doubted as console players, so to come in here and compete and, you know, play so high, it's awesome. And to meet Nick, it's awesome, man, having some good controller players in here.
Fantastic, gentlemen. Best of luck to you guys going forward. Courage, Lupo, back to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, live in the venue, could we make some noise for those two great competitors here?
People have been going
Absolutely.
nuts every single time they run into each other. They even threw together a quick round 3 fight graphic for the screen, which was it was awesome to see that. And honestly, like Nick said, we've got 2 games left. I have a feeling he's going to turn it back into Nick Towers at some point, my friend.
Right.
The fam will be very proud when it happens.
Oh, you know, they roll deep out there online. What a day it has been so far. I know everyone's talking about the ending of that last game. What a funny moment. But either way, I think we should have the standings updates for you guys here very, very soon. So actually, first, this is a little TV, little technique right here. Standings right after this. Quick break. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the continued coverage of the grand final of Fortnite Summer Skirmish. My name is Jack Courage Delnop, and I'm joined by none other than the wonderful Dr. Lupo. We have played 4 of our 6 games, and so far, things have been crazy.
We've seen some insanity, Jack, and we got 2 games left. It's not even close to done yet.
Yes.
$1.5 million on the line. Players starting to establish pretty significant leads in terms of points, even eliminations. We've seen aggressive gameplay. We've seen people playing very secure. We've seen, honestly, some of the fastest edits and replacements of materials to just make windows and take shots at people that I've ever seen.
Yep.
The number of players that we've seen people flying now, which is insanity. And I mean, this is Fortnite. This is one of the things that drives excitement for a lot of players is just how aggressive people can play a game that is so open to so many players. I feel like everybody plays it.
No,
everybody plays it.
For sure. Everyone knows what it is. Everyone plays it now. It's a quick update for you all at home. I know that last game was absolutely crazy from top to bottom. We have some a little message to share. So all Fortnite competitions are played on a live server environment. Players last game were in an anti-gravity zone. The anti-gravity zones have been disabled for the rest of the competition today. So in games 5 and 6, we won't be flying around nearly as much.
It was exciting to watch. Don't get me wrong, and we both kind of didn't know what you threw a card in the air, and
no one got hit by it.
Exactly, no one, not even remotely. You can't prove it. It's not anywhere on the internet. But for the following 2 games, the last 2, Game 5, Game 6, that stuff, like you said, it's off
on the ground.
Jack, you said before, stick around till after the break for the standings. Well, guess what? We've got them.
Boom.
Let's take a look.
Let's see where we stack up after 4 games. Morgoss in that beautiful top spot. 12 elims, 8 points, feeling darn good. Tendon's last game, though, with the elims, which was nuts. And then you see Liquid Poach actually moving to that 4th spot.
Now, Morgoss, like you said, the leader there with 8 points, but there's a number of players very close on his tail. We have a ton of people here with 3 or more, even 2. Boyer down there in the 16th slot. A lot of high elimination count. We already have multiple players, 4 players with double-digit eliminations, but that's not all. Here's your 17th through 32nd. Tons of players. We've seen Kayun putting on a good show, taking out a lot of big-name players, people you've seen all over the place in Summer Skirmish the prior 7 weeks, even the last 3 days, and he's starting to assert some dominance. Punisher here starting 33rd. And all these players, it is terrifying to see the list of names here. And you have to remember, too, we've seen already multiple people in the grand finals drop 6 points in a single match. That means, I mean, the leader's at 8. Anybody can catch up. Anybody, nobody's safe. It's absolutely crazy.
$1.5 million on the line, 21st through 100th. All take home $5,000. So the top 20 obviously see that leap in prize money. That's going to be kind of our thing we look at. Another thing to keep in mind, a victory royale is $25,000. I saw Cypher actually tweet out and say that was a $25,000 trap elimination. Yeah. And that's exactly what it was.
It's absolutely wild. Now we're just getting word in. There's actually an additional change on top of what Courage mentioned earlier. The anti-gravity zones being disabled. Are you strapped in?
Ladies and gentlemen, do we want another announcement? I think we could give another announcement to the folks at home. We are adding a 7th game to today now, so everything stands and we get even more Fortnite action. The day keeps on going, and the 7th game will also have the additional $25,000 prize for Victory Royale.
The insanity
of the last game. This day just keeps getting better and better, folks. Yet,
Jack.
I'm loving this right now. I might miss my flight later. I don't even care. Let's keep having a good time.
3 games left now. We're going to roll into Game 5 before too long here. But 3 games. That's, like you said, an additional $25,000. Yep. I think anybody that might have been confused, thrown off by the players flying through the air.
Like we were?
No, I mean, you saw it on our faces. That was crazy. They get another shot. Game 7 is going to come up at the end of today. What a way to go out today, too, man.
I'm loving this, man. The storylines keep building. The interview with Aiden and Nick Merckx was hysterical. A lot of respect from them.
It's a rivalry you love to see. Everybody here loves to see it, too, right? Can we make some noise for these gentlemen?
They've been getting into it as well. It's been awesome to watch. Definitely becoming fan favorites, players making a name for themselves. This is absolutely the biggest spectacle at PAX West this weekend. A fully at capacity Fortnite booth with the grand finals of the Summer Skirmish. obviously, this is like just the beginning for Fortnite competition and what's to come. I can't wait for more announcements. Obviously, Season 6 right on the horizon. Everyone wondering what's happening with the Cube. You've got the new limited time mode coming out next week. High stakes, all the new skins. It's a darn good time to be a fan of Fortnite, I can tell you that much.
Jack, from one friend to another, if you don't put up a good grappler montage clip, literally the day that you get home and play, first game, literally first game, I'm going to remove you from my friends list. I'm sorry.
Well, all right. No.
I won't
Please
really.
don't do
I would never do that. Are you kidding me?
I'll yell at the end of it, and it'll be uploaded to all social media. So
of course, absolutely.
That's the only way you play
It's what
Fortnite
you do.
Yeah, that's literally my job. We are getting into Game 5 here very, very soon. Appreciate your patience as we got all things sorted. As you can imagine, after last game, some people wanted to have some chats about
exactly
what occurred, but there's all our players now. They've been told there's a 7th game. There's another $25,000 up for grabs, the Victory Royale. Everyone loading on in. Nick Merckx getting the headset ready as the crowd gets behind him. Top boy there on your screen.
Nate Hill right next to him. All these players. It's so many people to keep your eyes on. There are a number of players too that we've discussed multiple times that were stars for the qualifiers before this. We have not seen put up a big show per game yet. We've got 4 games down, 3 remaining though, which means it's still anybody's game.
Yeah.
We can see multiple 6-point games still, as we've already seen in the first 4 matches. We've seen some crazy plays, some really good shots from players, some predicting the way that other players are going to play, the movements they're going to make. I love seeing that kind of stuff come out.
Yep. And I believe we're going to get a quick reset on the lobby as one player wasn't connected. So we'll go ahead and get that all sorted before we hop into Game 5. A lot of people talking after that last game about everything that obviously went on. Hashtag Summer Skirmish online. Just crazy to see just how many people are watching this. I mean, you mentioned to me some figures of people who were tuned into streams.
Over 700,000, I think, on Twitch alone, and that's not the only place it's being broadcast. It's incredible.
It's a lot of people.
Incredible.
That is a lot of people.
A few, yeah.
For everyone during the break, one funny moment that happened was, if you missed it, I threw my card and actually hit wonderful lady.
Did not actually.
in the back of the head here. She's not suing me. I did give her a bunch of exclusive PAX codes for the spray in game, but funny moments like that. I think it was between the anti-gravity and that, we had a lot to talk about during that break, so it went by pretty quick.
It did indeed. And you have to remember, if you're here at PAX West, if you're in Seattle even, Jack might have mentioned earlier, it feels like the place is packed to the brim, but please, make your way on down here. We have 3 games left, and you don't want to miss a second of what's happened so far today. Fortnite they're setting the standard for events like this, and Summer Skirmish, I feel like, is only going to be the beginning of what's to come. I'm sure Epic has all sorts of shenanigans up their sleeve. The competitive scene is only getting started.
100%.
We've got all sorts of, like you said, we've got a new mode coming down the pipe here. This is only the beginning too. We've seen a trend from them even at events like this, like PAX and everything before this. We saw the Pro-Am at E3 was outside in a stadium.
Yep.
This is only the beginning. There's so much more to come.
No, for sure, and it gets me excited just to think about the future. Either way, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but to look back at our games so far, we mentioned how every break of these games, we can basically just wind up seeing exactly these same players fighting because they're all landing at the same areas for the most part. You know, we were looking at Aiden and Nick fighting in Tilted, Cryomi as well as Sap fighting at the top of Viking Village, Hysteria getting into engagements down in Greasy. Now going into what's going to be the 5th game that these guys have played against each other, it's getting to a point where you can almost land and know, okay, this guy's going to push me from this area in the next 15, 20 seconds. This guy's going to be in this building. I'm wondering if we see any strategies change now to kind of make it so they can potentially get the drop on their opponent that lands near them in their drop zone.
Well, some of them, like you said, I mean, Aiden and Nick Merckx, we'll use as an example. It's been a spot, like a highlight moment every single game thus far. And Aiden, the 3 of the 4 games so far, there you see him on the screen right there. Both very, very kind to each other in that little interview. But I'm sure Aiden is thinking, right now I own Tilted Towers. Yeah. Nick, I dare you to come back here. And that kind of confidence, that's going to help him. Whether it's accuracy or positioning, he's got, well, seemingly he's got it all so far. The window peaks, everything he's doing. He even at one point he said, "This has got to be a PC player that I'm playing against." And lo and behold, no, it's Nick Merckx, another one of the best controller players we've ever seen. And whether he's losing the Aiden in these engagements or not, the fact that they're still fighting for that long, they're disengaging and re-engaging those choices. I think that establishes that win or lose in that 1v1. he's putting on a good show.
Yep.
He's very aware of what's going on. I mean, there's going to be an outplay from him soon, I guarantee it.
I think that kind of sums up Tilted perfectly, right? Like, there's so much already established building there that they're just navigating in and out of these corridors, using sound to their advantage, making sure they can kind of catch their opponents off guard, hide behind a wall, third-person perspective. Either way, it shows just how much these guys land there. They've been the big talk of the town so far. Nick Murph's giving fist bumps to everyone around him. Definitely someone who likes to promote so much positivity in the community, which is great to see. The other big names here so far today, right now in that 4th spot we saw in the standings, was actually Liquid Poach. He's the highest in the standings right now who don't have a victory royale. Who doesn't have a victory royale? So the 3 above him all have actually won a game. Landjock, who is our other player who's won, is lower on the standings. But Poach showing just how quality of a player he is, Lupo, to be that high up without having a victory yet.
Now, I'm looking forward to see players that dropped like 10+ eliminations in a single game. Animal Tylers, I want to see them show up and play that aggressive gameplay that they've played in the past. There's a chance that maybe right now we've been through 4 games, and maybe before this they were playing a little timid in comparison to what they had done during the qualifiers. It could be the pressure. All these people watching and the number of players that are around them that are extremely competitive. Speaking of competitive players around them, the drop is coming soon, Courage. Are you ready for Game 5?
We go. Quick little break, a little reset. We've added another game. We've seen all sorts of stuff. Game 5 is here. The bus has taken off. Remember, each victory royale, $25,000 in the bank in prize money. Let's get into the action.
Southwest to the far east, going to fly past Lonely Lodge there. You'll see a couple of the Liquid players, pretty well known for going Wailing Woods. They'll wait till a late drop. You've got in your bottom right there Nate Hill from FaZe flying in. He's looking towards Fatal Fields. But pretty much everybody, like we've seen, consistent spread. Not a whole lot of engagements. Not a whole lot. There's no more than like 5 or 6 players in a single location. Even less than that, typically. Retail has a handful there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like at Tilted. 2 players laying on the south side there. This is back over the Fatal Field to see. Running around. Nate's going to try and get this. This is an outside of Fatal drop. Full shield, a good pickup early. He's got an AR, some bandages. Nothing, I was literally about to say, nothing up close. Picks up an SMG. A decent kit early. You'd want to look for a shotgun. But I'd like to point out, Jack, that the anti-grav shield, the bubble is there visually, but just so everybody's aware, the effect itself has been disabled, like we said. So don't worry about the fact that you can see the bubble. Again, it's not engaged right now.
Now I just want to go home and fly around the map.
I do. turn that into a thing.
Either way, here's Ranger, who's got a tactical shotgun and a rocket launcher. Interesting loadout off the break. I think he realizes that as well. When you have the rockets, it's so key to get that high ground established right away. Rockets so much more lethal when you can obviously shoot down onto your opponent with them. This is Saint, who continually lands near this Greasy Grove area. From my experience in previous Summer Skirmishes, no, he's been clingered. Remember, clingers do flat 100 damage, so thankfully the shields will save him, but he's got to try to disengage, and he only has 2 builds. This looks like it's going to be a disaster for him.
Looks like he got potentially a little distracted by looking for Nice down underneath, and Bowman took it. Yeah, it was Bowman from the backside coming up from the south, chucked that clinger. But Bowman now focuses on Nice inside the building.
And another!
Player 4 is into the match. Bowman very low here. He's tossing the remote explosives. Maybe take an opportunity to pop that med kit. You're not going to have another time to do it. Gets the mini, a faster use, so the mini is going to take priority. Wants to get any buffer he can. Tyler's in the feed, by the way, getting an elimination in there, but Bowman gets that mini use off. Crashy, the player pushing up here.
Oh, Nice with the element of Bowman. Crashy's got to follow this up quick because, I mean, look at the health he has right now. 200 HP. That was his last build. He's got a great swap combination between that heavy shotgun and the drum gun, which still has a full clip, and there's all sorts of loot down low.
Saint dropped the rocket inside through the building, explodes.
Oh.
Nice. So now this is from the outside. So Crashy may not realize it. That was Saint from up top of the hill. The player inside, he knows is gone now, but he's got to try and figure out where it came from. Saint sliding down for a little bit of fall damage there. This is Aiden back in Tilted Towers. Look at his first elimination. Catches Kairos off guard. Both dropping on top of the big red apartment building. Comes away with a purple AR too, which is a really good pickup. But it doesn't even matter. Look, he already has a gold AR. He's going to push inside with his chest. And the hope for shield. And I think he just pulled one right there before it got away.
It's interesting. This is probably the first game where Nick has actually reached max shield before Aiden. I think Aiden will catch up, though, here soon.
Ecstatic, the typical third party in Tilted. Here's your leaderboard for right now. Aiden with an elimination there. Hopefully gets sorted by elimination count. Morgas, though, you see the score. This is your leaderboard sorted by score on the far right side. Morgas was at 8, Blind in second place is 6, Nate Hill, Aiden, Bizzle, and Saf rounding out that top 6. So
Already
all the French
500 material. Such
full
a good
med.
position.
3 remote explosives. He's got a swap weapon and upgrades his shotgun.
And just for everyone at home, when we say swap weapon, we're talking about the submachine gun. So you can take the pump shotgun shot, and then because there's that delay before you can fire the second shot, instead you swap to a spray weapon, whether it's an SMG, a drum gun. Some people even just use an assault rifle.
That's all you have. You know, you got to take the opportunity. The reason being, during that like cooldown period after you take a shot, you can see it. Swaps
it's a
off,
96
and now he's
tag
back.
right there.
The FPS knowing exactly how to utilize that timing, basically the right amount of AR spray, and then swap back to the shotgun to try and go for another shot. Shotguns hit so hard up close. In these up close fights, every single point of damage matters. If he's accurate, he's in the right amount. He's the right range away before damage drop off takes over. The timing on that can be key. It could be the difference between a one shot and maybe your opponent spraying it down while you're trying to get the shotgun shot off.
The FPS is, instead of building himself, he's just going to reset to the high ground. And he's dodging these clingers, so it looks like he's kind of read his opponent perfectly. It's Alpha Amons just inside the build and brick. And look, he's shaking his head. You can see in that camera, frustrated with the position he's in right now. Not a lot of health, very exposed, and the FPS is maxed on HP. And he's going to match the build right now. I think the end might be near for Alpha here soon.
Alpha pushing up, gets the top down on him, trying to get the jump shotgun shot. FPS kind of layering away. He's got multiple layers there, basically right at the perfect spot to lay a floor, back up a step, lay another floor. So there's multiple wood platforms being Alpha Amons deciding to go for it. He's trying to get the top down. He's got to hit big shots here. It's 100 HP, 100 shield on his opponent below him.
It's almost to a point where like Alpha has to hit like a snipe headshot or something. A ridiculous scenario he finds himself in. The FPS just rotating all around, bouncing. Looking for that perfect... It's also a thing where if you're the FPS, if you're wondering why he's kind of playing this slow, yes, he doesn't have the high ground, but he almost doesn't want to take any damage either. Right? He knows he's got a heavy advantage, but he's looking to just get that perfect opportunity. Now might be his chance. It might just be time to spray this player down, shoot that top left structure, and it might all fall.
He's got it looks like there's 2 connected points. If he goes for it, which is exactly what he's going to do, he's got that the arch, the half arch is all that's holding it up, and here it comes. Alpha's got to drop down and save himself with a build. Lands on top of the building, just barely got down fast enough to not take any fall damage, but he's still basically one shot at this point. One pump shot is going to be all it takes. Poach catches him in the corner, and there it is. First elimination for the FPS. An excellent set of plays there. Choosing just the right time to push.
Here's another side of the map. Gripmate. Not much useful weaponry in his inventory. What?
An 82.
I take back everything I've ever said.
Catches Landjock, our first winner off guard there. Takata right here in shifty shafts, jump around trying to get the top down on his opponent, drops in and a big hit, 2 HP left for crashing. He does have a med kit and minis, so he's still, you know, give him 20 seconds. He's back to 150.
No, Fade went to drop the porta-fort and it actually spawned above him, so he wasn't safe. It's so key when using those porta-forts, especially on uneven ground, that you jump as you activate it, so you land above the layer of the porta-fort. Here's Aiden at only at 100 HP. Seems like he's been tagged up quite a little bit. Who's nearby? Nibs is nearby. Marksman's nearby. Ecstatic is here. No idea if Nick Merckx is still in this game or not. We'll have to get you guys an update on that.
It looked like he might have still been inside the big gray tower that he tends to. If it's anybody in there, it's going to be Nick. But once we can see that, we'll let you know. But this might be the busiest Tilted we've seen in quite a while. And this is the first time I think we've seen Aiden decided to back out. Maybe too many people. His loadout, though, no shield, not a whole lot of materials, but a gold AR, a gold heavy shotgun.
Yep.
Train here. I wonder if he's going to try and hit a big deagle shot on this. The purple hand cannon. Top boy dropping down. Looks like he got an elimination on blue tee in the feed there.
He's got a revolver, as you know, from the most recent developer update. That'll soon be vaulted here in Fortnite, so pay a little homage to our soon-to-be lost friend. Chris is just going to run away from that fight. What is this end? What is this zone? What is this zone? Literally half of it is out of play. And that's a mountain right there too, Lupo. That's one of the tallest mountains in the game, right above Flush Factory.
You see somebody hanging out way north, way outside the zone.
Nick is still alive.
Nick is still alive.
0 limbs yet, just playing very passively. Nibs is running out. Everyone's fanning on out of here. Nick's towers.
Make the MFM proud, Nick. He's got to try and he just kind of needs to buy his time. He's got 55 seconds. He doesn't necessarily have to rotate just yet, and he knows. Look, Ecstatic doing it literally what we saw him do last match for just a second there. We cut to him, and he wasn't even moving, just standing still, trying to listen, wait for these players to kind of engage each other. He doesn't want to get involved in any of this. Leaderboard being high on his list of things to go after, so I don't blame him in the slightest. Nick deciding he heard some shots. Might be time. Gonna drop some grenades in there, hoping for a single or a double. Ecstatic goes down. We still have 2 players in there. X's looks like he eliminated Ecstatic. Grenades don't catch any damage. Looking for maybe even just a damage number. Even if you're not on top of it, you'll see the number pop up when you get a hit with it.
He's gonna have to make a decision soon. I was about to say he's either got to move or he's got to push this, and I think he's gonna do the latter. Here he goes. Nick Merckx now moving on in. Here's a ton of shots going down, expecting players to be weak. He wants to play this high ground. Sees one inside. Can't get a tag on the player. One off to his right at double L's as well. Nick obviously doesn't know exactly where Exis is with that little HP. There's a 3rd player as well down here too. I think this is Envy Gorilla, I believe at least.
It's a shotgun shot off on him. Looks like it was still shield damage. He's going to know that his opponent still has some sort of defense there.
He has the weaponry for this. Between the drum gun and the blue pump shotgun. A rare pump shotgun, but he's going to go ahead and fall back for now.
He just ran out of explode ammo too, so he's got nothing left in that grenade launcher. Maybe 3 or 4 more explode ammo. He could have just kept dropping them in there, kind of exposed.
And I can tell you, Nick isn't happy to be leaving Tilted at 0 limbs. This is the first game where him and Aiden, I think, both leave Tilted without a single elimination.
Jamonka phase out here, trying to rotate. Looks like southeast. He's going up the ramp. This ramp already built, so he doesn't have to waste a whole lot of materials. It's a good option to, especially in competitive games like this. You don't want to burn through a ton of resources. You're gonna, in the future, if you plan on going for late game, you're gonna get caught up close next to somebody and have to most likely take advantage of turbo build. Try and keep a layered defense between you and your opponent. You need all the materials you can get. Look at Cease here. 650 wood, 770 brick, 140 metal. He's sitting on a ton of materials.
And he's actually in a little build engagement with Morgoth, who, if you remember, is our first place player up to this point. Quick update on the actual eliminations this game. Animal, who's one of the 2 players this week with a 10+ elim game for the victory, actually has 4 elims so far, and still a ton of players left.
A handful of players still alive, too. We have Top Boy, Gorilla, Morgas, Rio, Struggs, Tokata, and Tyler's, who are all sitting at 2 eliminations apiece, which means one more for each one of them is a point for this game. And every single point counts. It could be the difference between you know, the 21st through 100 placement prize of 5,000. You got to remember, everybody comes away with 5,000 if they made it to the grand finals, which is huge. But a single point could push you up in the top 20, and that could be massive. A lasering Takata establishes his,
Animal, who actually got that elim. That's now 5 for him. 2-point game for Animal.
Ribs, Saf gets the FPS and the feed there.
Ooh, it's Nick Merckx out of the zone.
Literally immediately clapping here at PAX for Nick. Mars City's eliminated by the storm there in the feed, you see. It's kind of a stalemate here at the edge of the circle. Movement's going to have to happen before too long, and both of these players are established in their little box. They have a minute 20. You have plenty of time to make a decision. Nick could drop his campfire too. This is Tyler's and Triz back in the bottom floor, tilted, hanging outside the zone, trying to just peek for that quick shot, and he gets Triz through the top window of that door.
He was so far into the zone still. Over to Rio now, spraying that LMG, swapping the Scar, and whoa, gets the 1 bullet to connect. That's all he needed. Knew he was weak.
And that's 3 eliminations for Rio, which gives him a point for this game.
And Asteria is still in this. And I can tell you, Asteria landing greasy. He's been very happy to see the zone since we swapped off Nick. He got tagged, and look at Emat back-to-back limbs, but then Aiden actually cuts him down. So Aiden and Nick each now with a limb on the board.
Aiden actually has 2 right now. He's 1 away from picking up another point for the day. That'd be Aiden's 4th point. Rex is hanging out in his own. There's a little box over there.
That's
the clingers. See the clingers flying over the top of Nick.
No help from his AR right there, not getting any connects. Gosh, I can tell you right now, Nick wishes he had some explodes left from his time in Tilted to be able to use. And that's a brilliant wall. That wall's going to block out the sight line of the player in that build just next to him, so you can put some pop shots down to this player who's trying to run away from the zone. Nick will have to move forward, and that's when this is going to get absolutely awkward for him. Expect the player up top to probably prioritize Nick here.
Got a couple of trees as natural cover, some structure that was built by somebody else, but I think he just saw it. Looks like there was like a window peak to a southwest 240 up there. Somebody might have edited a hole out and try and take shots at him as he's rotating, and he covered himself.
This zone is absurd.
It is. This is it. What would you say? Like 40% of it is over the water right now. This is Aiden's second elimination. Right on the coast right here. Caps as a player. It's Emad. We watched that just a second ago. We commented on Emad establishing a double there on
so that was Emad who got a double, but then he eliminated Emad, meaning 3 players worth of loot was there. So now he's added a ton of materials, shields, and a legendary compact SMG to his inventory.
I don't think Aiden picks it up unless it's legendary at this point.
Apparently.
That kid is insane.
It's like everything that gets dropped in front of him upgrades out of the person's inventory.
Multiple players underneath and making quite a bit of noise.
Just eliminated his teammate Brandon.
Tempo going for a fast hit of the side window there.
Aiden with another elimination. I believe that will put him at 3, right? Making him another game with another point. He's been so consistent with that so far today.
Kayun just got an elimination in the feed, but Top Boy takes him out. We have players countering players, and this is all very much on the coast. Imagine somebody sliding down to try and be on the outside edge. We'll see, depending on this next circle. There's going to be time to move relatively soon. We got 5 seconds before this finishes. Flush Factory still has a ton. The top of the hill, like you said, one of the tallest hills in the game. There's going to be a lot of players at the top down, and here we go. Flush Factory has to move out. North side has to move out. All these players are looking at right now. It's time to move.
Here are those clingers. Way earlier on, that was Crunch who got the pitch on the sap. But this next zone, half of it is on one of the tallest mountains in the game. The other is on one of the lowest valleys. So high ground going to be everything here. Here comes a nice little build engagement. Cease dropping down the remote explosive, but gets shot in the back. He tunnel visions on replays and pays the ultimate price.
C4 is still sitting up top, so you got to be careful that nobody else maybe notices that and shoots it if you're moving over the top of it. But Aiden here, very top corner, top of the map, edge of the map. He's looking for an edit down on his opponent.
He knows that this player has the double barrel. It's got a unique sound effect, which is so key to listen out for. Bolt Naga also has the Rift to go in his inventory. Maybe in a panic position. He could use that to actually, he might use that here to get the high ground on the top part of the mountain.
We'll put him basically all the way up there.
They have to move in 30 seconds.
There you go, Bolt hiding underneath is the player we were just talking about. Aiden's going to keep watching for him and listening while engaging other players. This is basically taking 2 fights at once, and I think the idea is maybe you can pull an elim from at least one of them while somebody's rotating. Everybody's in front of him or underneath him at this point.
Yep.
So he knows he's not going to get caught off guard from the back. He's not going to get caught tunnel visioning from any of them. But the top of that hill, Courage, they have vision on literally everything.
This is Cease from earlier on. Saw Brandon building on up and whiffs the hunting rifle shot, but thankfully for him, Brandon gets quickly cut down, and then I think there was a second player here.
I believe that's Morgoss hiding underneath him. Earlier when he take the shot. Also, the same hunting rifle shot, just barely missing again. One of those is going to pay out, but he clips Morgoss on the rotation. Just over the build, too.
Here's Asteria, 0 elims so far. And Nick Merckx just eliminated Tempo.
That puts Nick Merckx at 4 elims. That's at least 1 point. He needs one more elim to put him at 5. Asteria lasers down Aiden.
And look, Aiden got a little scared by that. Nick now at 4 elims. Has a point on the board. Nick's got a ton of family here this weekend. It's funny, keeping an eye on his dad every time Nick gets in a fight. I got eyes on him. And he's listening to Neo, actually, someone who, you know, from Nick's streams, they game a lot together. Neo's telling him every little bit that's going on, making sure he knows exactly where he stands. He got blessed by this next zone, too.
Nick, though, only 49 woods. He's got 4 builds total. It's a Cease from earlier who was just putting on an excellent show. But Nate Hill, look at this, hiding in the shadows up here and takes shots at Cease. The tunnel vision kind of caught Cease off guard there. Nate Hill took advantage of it. I think Merckx, like I said, 4 limbs, 3 builds left right now. He can
stay hidden here for so long, though.
I mean, he's inside the safe zone.
Yep, like he's like a ghost. people are just not even going to think of him being down here.
Hiding in the shadow, too. Players that even rotate past might not see him hiding. He's got... This is actually it's an excellent spot for him to be in. Bizzle on the rotation. See player. This might be the most spread we've seen the field for in quite a while.
I think a lot of it's the verticality of the mountain. Look at how awkward this is. Trying to build on up. I love this camera shot right here. Great stuff production.
Sean was catching Carosa on the rotation up the stairs off guard. He's hiding in like a little side chamber there. Time for Bizzle from Ghost Gaming to move up as well. A lot of these players, they're going to decide when to rotate, and it looks like more players are going earlier than we've seen in the past. Oftentimes we see a lot of players deciding to wait till the last second, but it's because, like you said, the verticality is deciding that right now you need to move, because you not only do you have to build forward, you got to build up.
Unfortunately, you can't use your pickaxe to break down the entire mountain, so players have to move early. Ghost Bizzle doing just that, moving towards the zone. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes it into the zone and immediately just boxes on up. Yep, there you go. He's trying to make it close enough. Needs to get right around this corner, and now he's good. Time to box. Oh, he does take a heavy amount of damage, though, before he's able to get the wall down.
You start building those chambers out. Shots are coming out, though. Somebody's trying to challenge this little set of boxes he's building. He's still getting shot from the side.
And the reason they're even spraying him even more is his build auto-switched from brick to metal, which is a sign that he's out of brick, which makes you think if he's having to use metal now, he's probably very low on materials. Tfue still in this game as well, alongside Geomach.
Replays and Sinful caught at the bottom. This is going to be a fight to stay ahead of the storm and ahead of their opponent.
I feel like both of them are going to get eliminated right here.
Nick Merckx sitting for them, maybe looking for his fifth right now, listening. He doesn't have any builds left, so he's chasing. He's going to spray the wall down and catches Rex inside his own box. That's 2 points for Nick Merckx. Top 20 left. He makes it to top 10. That's another point soon. He does have, and he's got a med kit.
That was a smart play from Nick. He goes to pick up the opponent's grenade launcher. He had 0 ammo in his grenade launcher, but Nick was hoping that if he picked up the other grenade launcher there, that there might have been some ammo still left in the clip. Unfortunately for him, there was none, but a sign of a smart player. As, oh my goodness, Hysteria, if he gets sneezed on right now, I think he's eliminated from this one. I think if Nick flexes his traps, Hysteria's character would get eliminated here.
Bizzle moving up, trying to get an advanced spot up this hill. He doesn't want to get caught off guard outside the zone. You see he's already rotating towards the east side of the circle. He saw the fact that, that's the side he's going to have to go to. The next circle, it's a full movement. Everybody's got to relocate. You got to get ahead of the zone if you want to move and stay alive.
So like every time he pushes out and makes another one of those like little 1x1s, he's burning through 60 material, and he's only got 200 something left. So that's all going away quick. Struggs, someone we saw earlier on. We got an interview with him after he had a big performance earlier in the week. Here comes the zone move. Rio launch pads up to the high ground. Nick Merckx having to go bounce pad time as he's going to try to keep up with the zone. Oh, he's going all the way to the low ground with barely any builds left.
Nick's on 6 eliminations right now, by the way. One more would put him at 7. That's 3 points. He's got 2 points already from this game.
Rio in the fight. Sean trades out that elim. You see Struggs now down. Nate Hill still in this one as well. Nick Merckx with another elimination on Base Soldier. I think that puts Nick at 7 eliminations. 3-point game for Nick Merckx, as this is going to move him way up the scoreboard now. Another elimination from Nick. That's Tfue down. A statement game from Nick Merckx, and he's got medkits to use. Nick Merckx can win this game.
Kevy's super low HP. You've got a whole ton of players above him, and he's sitting pretty down at the bottom. He might have the ability to rotate along the edge of the storm. You see where the location on the minimap, it's going to carry all the way along the base, and he catches somebody on the way down. He's trying to go for materials. Elim number 9.
He needs these materials.
Every elimination from here on out is icing on the cake. He's going to push for.
He's got a little bit.
He's got 7 builds left.
Player's just inside. He doesn't realize he's to his left. Nick can only build 7 walls. He's already earned himself 4 points this game.
He's got to save those for moving up the hill. He can't waste too much of them right here. Luckily, he's got a little bit of defense here. Somebody already built wood. He's got to move up, though. He can't stay down on the bottom because he's about to be outside the zone. Now's the time, Nick. You got to move.
Oh, no.
Get inside. Get inside. Here we go.
He's in.
Solid play. Excellent job staying inside, but he's got players all over.
No! Nick Merckx slides down the mountain. No builds left. It's over.
5 players left alive right now.
And 72 hours.
Nate Hill, Mac, Povsey. Top 5 situation.
Nate Hill already in a brilliant position. Spot 72 hours. That's a free elim, which gives him another point. Remember, if he makes it to the top 3, he earns another. Nate Hill, who is already in our top 5, might be making a move up the leaderboards, folks. 4 players left. He's got no builds, so he's got to use whatever he can for cover. Look at the height difference Mac is done. That's top 3. Another point earned for our remaining players. Povesey's got no builds left, so he's going to get dropped on down.
He's got a player right underneath him. Bolt all the way up top. Looking down Nate Hill. This 1v1 situation. Nate Hill still left alive, and Bolt's got the top down on everybody. He might even have an opportunity. He's layering up. He's going for a heal off.
He can't drop, though. He might be able to fall down to that next level, but if Nate's able to heal on up a little bit, I'm not sure exactly what Nate has. He can maybe shoot him down. Right
now is the perfect time for him to just hang out up top. He's at 95, which means he can start the med kit before the zone closes all the way. He doesn't have to push for the elimination on Nate.
There's 5 seconds left. Nate's going to have to try to spray down whatever he can. Bolt Naga can build out one more structure. He's got 0 elims this game. He's been playing for the Victory Royale. He's got a med kit he can heal with.
You see he's about to position himself on the line to seam between the two.
Nate's got to keep spraying. Nate has to keep spraying. He cannot let this go to a heal off. He knows it as well. He's got to keep spraying. Nate, the game potentially slipping out of his hands. He needs to keep spraying the structure above. Nope, he's not going to be able to out-heal him. This one's done. He's not going to be able to out-heal. He does not have a med kit. This should be a heal-off in favor of Bolt Naga. It's going to come down to the wire. Nate spraying, doing whatever he can, but it's not enough.
0 eliminations, by the way. But the Victory Royale,
the
$25,000 richer.
God,
because
that's some good YouTube clickbait.
He played smarter than anybody else. Waited till the very last second and got the heal off. See Nate a little disappointed in the fact that he got caught off guard. No builds left underneath. He had to just try and spray down, and even the little amount of metal that he had left was enough for Bolt to secure just the platform he was standing on and get himself a Victory
That's
Royale.
The name of the game right there, though. It's a BR. Victory Royale is something everyone wants to achieve. That's 3 points. 0 limbs, it does not matter. He outlasted everyone in the lobby. Congratulations to him. You know, Nate's, I think, his window of opportunity, and it was awkward because the metal was just starting to build as he was trying to heal from that last fight. But once that metal finishes, from that range too with the damage fall, I mean, it takes so much to break through that structure.
Now, that, I believe, is Nate's second place on the day so far in these grand finals. But we should still feel good about it. I believe it's 7 points total for him, which, if my calculations are correct, is second place, which is insanity. And he still has 2 games left. We got game 6 and the surprise game 7 coming at you right after that.
I think we got some replays to look at as we get ready for the next lobby to start on up. Nick Merckx, big game from him. Got the 7 elims he needed. I believe he finished with 8.
He did indeed, and that's 3 points. Didn't make it, I believe there was actually, he did get top 10, so 4 points total from this game.
Yep.
See, the perfect time, catches Lene pushing up the ramp. So many different angles that players can be hiding in. Tracks one all the way down to the bottom, literally sitting on Poach as he tries to box Nick Merckx out, and it was not fast enough.
And this was the big moment for Nick to get him to a 2-point game. You push forward, drum gun in hand, you spray down the wall. And look at from Nick's perspective how low he was down on the ground. It's a good job. Base Soldier wasn't focused on him. Nick gets a free elim there in the final moments. No builds left. He knew it was done. He knew it was over, but he's got to be proud of that performance either way. Make it into the top 10 with 8 elims. That's the game Nick needed. One pop-off performance could be the difference in a $1.5 million tournament between $5 grand and maybe 25 grand. We'll see.
That's quite a bit of money, Jack.
It is quite a bit of money. Also from Ghost, we've talked so much about how great the organization is doing this weekend. Bizzle had some great performances in this game. Obviously, game 5, still 2 more games to go.
I love seeing these cross sections from the side. You see all the layers coming out as these players progress across, and Bizzle is one that knows exactly the right time to take an advantage shot at somebody.
So I talked about all the great performances.
Did you just caster curse a replay?
I did. I somehow figured out a way to caster curse a replay.
You're hitting people with cards. Wow.
I'm never going to be hired back. It's okay. No, I'm just kidding. Please hire me back. Nate Hill from FaZe Clan, their new pickup. He was the first in line for the qualifier heats back all the way on day 1, and now here playing on Sunday, or Monday, sorry.
Hiding from the shadows, the shots on Cease.
He had no mats for all this.
I think that situation, multiple opportunities here. He caught players in bad positions, but playing with no materials, like you said, he's a player that he'll use everything that he has or everything that he doesn't have.
See this moment right here?
Everything that he can.
It's
right
just
there. Yeah, I think the option at this point was just to continue spraying. Granted, it's metal. It's going to take quite a while.
He had to reload. Look, so he took 3 extra ticks just to reload. I'm pretty sure if he doesn't try to heal and just reloads his drum gun and just sprays, he's at least got a better chance than that. Because obviously he knew at the end it was all over. Didn't have the med kit to out heal. Either way, what a day we've had so far. Fun from start to finish. The final day of PAX West. My first ever PAX, and I don't know how it'll be topped, but we actually, the player who won that last game without a single limb, Bolt Naga Ops, on the floor with Zeke.
What's up, guys? Great cast as always. I am joined by Naga Ops. Come on over, my friend. So you win a game, 3 points for the Victory Royale, and you take it to a heal off against the likes of Nate Hill. You just won $25,000, dude. What are you feeling?
I was feeling really nervous and anxious, but I guess I'm pretty happy that I get some money in my pocket. But overall, I'm pretty confident and happy about that game.
So now, what was your early to mid game look like?
Early game, I dropped the villain lair, and I just sat in a box and farmed up all game, and then eventually I got circle, and I just played the high ground all game.
Now, so obviously toward the end of the game, you were sneaky snaking your way around, being super stealthy. Is that what you like to do, or you think you're going to change it up in these next games? Because you got 3 points now, right?
I like to be more aggressive. I think that playing more passive inside these type of games is probably the wisest play, but I feel like if you want to have fun and you actually want to get inside the heat, you can play like Nate Hill and play low ground warrior and just go shocking everybody.
Absolutely. Best of luck to you in the next few games. You got that extra one as well. Back to you guys on the desk.
$25,000 richer for that Victory Royale, and he got 0 limbs, but hey, it's the way of the game.
I literally see the YouTube video title already. $25,000 no elimination challenge completed.
I'm going to upload that to my channel.
It's not even going to be you playing, but you might as well put it up.
5 mid-rolls on it and have a blast. Ninja will be in the title too, but let's go ahead and get on over to our standings up to this point. There it is. Morgoth still in that top spot, but Nate Hill inching on up. But the big move coming on in, which there it is, 8th spot, Nick Merckx moving on up, earning himself that's a pretty good payday up to this point if he can hold that position.
Now keep in mind, like we saw Bolt, the winner from last game, only 5 eliminations on the day, but he's in 7th place right now based solely on the fact that he has more Victory Royales than Nick. They have the same, they all have the same point total all the way down 3 places past that too, but he got the victory. You have to remember, a no elimination victory is, he still made it through a field of 98 incredibly good players. It's nothing to gawk at that. Obviously he knew exactly what to do and he made the right plays.
And here we go to the prizing now. Remember, top 20 begin to earn that extra amount of cash. Hysteria right now, the odd man out on the 21st spot, but 21st to 100 still earn 5K, so everyone's a winner here. But 225K.
That's quite a bit more.
Sounds a little bit better in that first place position.
Keep in mind too, in addition to what you see on your screen right there, Victory Royale is worth $25,000. We've had 5 of those already, and Game 6 is not too far away. Jack, you see the players getting ready. Everyone's getting their hardware squared away, getting loaded into the game, and prepping for this. We have it's go time. It's go time, Jack.
It's time for match 6. Typically, this would be the end of today, but you know what? We've added a 7th game, as we mentioned earlier. Let's get into the action. The battle bus has taken on off. Our players are ready. Ladies and gentlemen in the crowd, are you ready for Game 6? You'll love to hear it. The energy has been incredible as we continue on through.
Here we go. Players dropping out already. Everybody looking for their landing zone. Junk Junction, an immediate drop point. Somebody's flying way out over the wall. They're about to cut back for a junk landing potentially. You see a lot of players. People typically avoiding places like Loot Lake. Like I said, fighting the water is not something that a lot of these players want to do. It requires additional materials to build the floor layers up. They can get knocked down pretty easily because you don't often you don't root them too much. So you'll see that relatively sparse, but every competitive match so far has had an even spread. The reason being there, not everybody goes for the hot drops. People know that slow play, you see Tyler's already getting an elimination on himself with an SMG in the feed. Slow play for something like this. Oh, the C4 play. An early C4 elimination would be rough. No builds from the player that he's up against here, and only one C4 left. Means no elim, and Morgas pays the price. At that point, you land, you get C4 only, and you don't get a tag with it. He should have rotated away. Had no materials, nothing to fight against it.
He hit him once, and the remote explosive does a flat 70 damage. And that's exactly what he hit him for. Tried to get that second to connect, unfortunately just couldn't. Bowman with this early elim inside Greasy Grove has claimed the doghouse. Tempo and Hysteria here as well. That is the exact house that I land at. When Hysteria and I play duos, I'll land at that house and he'll land at Durburger. So looks like he's taking my spot as Tempo has claimed the Durburger for himself.
Trouble was Fulmer taking out C9 Blind, a player we had our eyes on quite a bit. Down early, and look,
the only two players in Tilted.
What is this, round 4, round 5? Nick's Towers.
Still says Nick's Towers production. I don't know.
Nick Merckx. After last game, man, I've got to give it to him. He put on a good show. 8 eliminations in the previous match. I think it was an attempt to say, yeah, Aiden, I can do that too. Let's go again. And they're both here. It looked like almost nobody else was in Tilted, so this might be a true 1v1 in Tilted.
Man, that is so fun. That is just awesome. Remember, we are in our 6th game. It can't be stressed enough. We will be playing 7 today after Game 4's shenanigans. As we continue to see exactly how this will play on out. Jay Cuddy.
7th game, you look at it kind of like a bonus game, and with that bonus game comes still the $25,000 for Victory Royale in that. Just as much as every other match. Now here we go, the start of the engagement. Aiden sitting on a 138 right now. He does have a slurp. I was gonna say I expect him to use it. He almost getting max value out of it. The feed Flower getting an elimination on Jumpman, but Nick Merckx, both of them basically the same HP, same shield right now. You have to remember that slurp is slowly ticking, which means Aiden's gonna end up at max HP and shield here in just a second. Nick Merckx gonna be at a 50 shield deficit. If these players hit their shots, Jack, especially with the loadout that Nick has, you're going to see that pump shotgun, an immediate swap to the blue drum.
And Nick knows exactly where he is in the build, and he's going to stop and just listen. Tags for 20-something. Aiden should still have the HP advantage, and there's the trap. Can't hit the second pump shot, but gets tagged from down low. The remote explosives, though, and Aiden! Aiden again! It's Aiden's Towers now.
It might be time for Nick to choose a different drop location. Oh my gosh. It does make me curious.
Every game that Nick has been able to avoid Aiden, he popped off. But unfortunately for him, Aiden this time goes right back out of it. You see Nick is like, it's just like a mental block for him. He just can't get past Aiden.
And knowing Nick Merckx, I mean, we've played with him a number of times. He's going to go back there next match. He's got it. He has to establish dominance. He's one of the most competitive people I've ever met. It's almost the point where he says, I don't even care about winning. You know what?
It's an ego check.
I need to take Tilted back.
The M-Fam right now wishing they could spawn into the game with Nick and swarm Aiden with pickaxes, but that's not the case. Prodigy Aces just on the outskirts of Salty Springs as Tempo Sicarios. It's just bouncing around near the cliff house.
Feed ecstatic. Someone we saw dropping Tilted as well, kind of avoided it going down the feed. Now Crashy, a guest caster during day 2, now establishing inside these grand finals. He made his way through, getting an elimination there of his own. Rico, somebody we saw incredibly fast builds from earlier, only sitting on 68 HP. He's got some remote explosive. He's going to try and use it. Tosses it over the top, and he's going to take the opportunity to push up, catching himself on a build. Almost fell to drop down a second time, still catching himself. He's trying to get a top-down view of his opponent here. Traps him inside. The edit, the fast edit, the shotgun. You hear the trap go out. Dodges the trap damage, making it away, getting the elimination.
There's so much going through in the thought process right there. So he's trying to edit. The second you hear the trap go down, you have about half a second to react and get to the opposite side of that build to dodge the trap. He does just that, also finishes the elim. As we swap over to Tempo, he just secured his first elim of the game. On to Triz, and Bowman is close.
2.5 minutes as the zone is closing in. We have a player or two still very far away. Looks like Snobby and Haunted have a handful still out there, and they're the furthest away. make moves early, get ahead of the game. They're not going to have a ton of materials, but they'll still be able to make it in the safe zone without taking too much damage, especially if they have like a launch pad, rift to go, something like that. You'll have to use those. We'll see here. Landjock, one of our earlier winners. That power cord skin. You'd hear him, he heard the shield being used, so he decided that was the time to push, but his opponent got the wall block in place in time.
He's backing on up. Backing on up. Expect Fuzzy to use these minis to get as much HP as possible. So keep the high ground on Landjock. Brilliant pyramid block as well. And with the double barrel, you'd think at some point he's going to go for it, and I think this is exactly it, right? Just make the call to push on in, get close range, maybe break that down, take command, and yeah, there's the build. Can't get the engagement victory as of yet.
Now the head shake there. Oh, Landjock catches him off guard. Right as he was going for the edit, Landjock was inside and said, okay, you're going to try and open this door. I'm going to open this side. I'm going to back on you. I'm going to rotate out and get a different angle and catch you off guard, and it worked.
Looks like Aiden's got another challenger in his towers. He's going to keep on rotating, but no, here's shots behind him, and this is typical Aiden. Wants to push towards it, gets aggressive, going for the high ground. And the new building, because of all the pallets inside that new building, it lets you leave tilted with max materials. That used to never be the case.
He's sitting on a ton there. This loadout is incredible for mid-game, too. Even mid to late game, he has, I mean, honestly, a ton of ammunition. 200 rounds is quite a bit. Here, the middle of Loot Lake. We haven't seen too many fights happen here. Players kind of avoiding it, but Lassius landed up top. And he's getting sprayed down. Has to catch himself on the way down, and he does so successfully. A very well-timed jump.
Spraying with that SMG. Look at his ammo count, though. Once he reloads this, basically has a clip and a half left. Ranger just disengaging for the moment, I believe.
Time to use one of those bounce pads. He's going to try and little trick there. He's got to be coming up from the ramp. It can't be at that. Oh, there we go.
Little 45-degree angle. He got it.
Those kind of techniques, the reason people do that, Jack, the bounce, the extra lift from the bounce pad, when you land on the launch pad, it almost doubles the height that you fly off the launch pad, makes it so you can get much further inside a zone. There's a couple different ways that people build the structures. There's one with a, bouncing off the bounce pad into an arch, knocks you down into the launch pad. That one right there, even faster. You put them right next to each other and run up at an angle, the 45-degree angle into the bounce will shoot you right onto it.
This is now Aiden versus Sap, teammates from Ghost. Beautiful pyramid block from Aiden as he's now got the high ground on Sap. Tries to pop a mini, but nearly falls off that. He drops right down, resets. It's not his structure, so he'll have to place a floor. Just like that, he's set for the moment. Or maybe not. Uh-oh, he's lost the build. He lost the wall. Look at how fast he edits on controller, man. It is absolutely insane.
Yeah, actually, there's
no traps, so he's gonna go for it. There's a quick edit.
85.
The spray! Aiden takes down Sap. And he looked to smile. He knows we're keeping an eye on him, man.
I want to point out in the middle of that, you notice he had a window was edited right smack dab in the center of the wall he was facing, and he used the pyramid inside the structure he was on to line of sight, kind of crouch behind it like it's a mini hill. That kind of awareness of the surfaces around you is incredible.
He said, I just received word from production that he looked at the camera and said, I'm sorry, I love you. Speaking about his teammate there.
Max trying to wall off here. Ooh, big shot through. That double barrel catches Snoop. Look at the look at his face, too. Wow.
With all the shields and the slurp that's there, he should actually get the full.
Very cool. Surprisingly, he's leaving a side open. He must know for sure nobody else is rotating in from that side. If he were anywhere else on the map, that'd be a tough one. But look at this circle. It's going to start pushing not a ton of players in. A lot of people are already positioned, which means not a ton of gatekeeping, but you do still have some fights going on the outside.
Yeah, a lot of people already inside.
As the day has gone on, we've seen more and more players taking the option to move early, because early games, we had a lot of people waiting until the last second just because of the rotation.